In the past, if a student had a late assignment, I would always listen to that reason for it being late. But now I think I feel like I do that with more clarity on why I'm wanting them to communicate with me, and that it is a conversation and it's a relationship.
We were talking about potentially contributing to some systemic change within the school.
I'm really sort of a stickler on get to class on time, and most students do. They get to class on time. I see it fulfills my need for respect.
So we chose to experiment with tardiness policy. Many students were late more than 4 times, and then the policy that the district has in place is that you go to a Saturday school and you get to sit for 4 hours doing nothing or working on your homework like a punishment, and that's supposed to give you motivation to change your behavior. It doesn't happen. People continue to be late, and maybe they do it even more, and it costs the school money because attendance is connected to budgets, and then they have investigations from the districts. And we did this process that is called Convergent Facilitation. It's about collaborative decision making, where you get in the room all the stakeholders. In this case, it was students, teachers, administrators, parents. We even had the superintendent. We put on a big board all the needs in relation to tardiness. We created one list of human needs. Some needs were about rest. People felt like they get up too early in the middle of the night, basically, to get to school. Some needs were about a choice for the students, for example. So it was a very rich exploration, and this process of putting everyone's needs on the table was very connecting, and people got to really hear what's really going on. So one student was sharing that his father went to Russia to take care of his grandma, and he's alone at home responsible for his siblings, to drive them all to school. In the morning it's very tough, and he's not managing. Why should he be punished for that instead of being helped and supported?
Some students are perpetually tardy, and so it really made me, and just having a policy doesn't stop that. And so instead of just looking at it as a lack of respect for me, I could look at what are their needs in being tardy. I actually connected it to the work of literature that we were studying at the end with The Taming of the Shrew, because one of the characters, he's late to his own wedding, and the students asked me, well, why is he late? And I got to reply to them, well, why are you late? What need is he fulfilling in being late, and what need are you fulfilling? And so we were able to have a much deeper conversation.
And one of the teachers was sharing about how he was concerned about the students keeping up with the material. And when they are consistently late and missing stuff, he doesn't know if they are caught up with it. So it's about caring. And the students were touched hearing that. That never happens when you have punitive policies in place.
How did you feel about what happened?
I felt good about it. It was interesting to see the perspective of the teachers, because as a student you don't really get to see or understand like what they put into it and that you actually matter.
What was the outcome?
For my English teacher and I, we agreed that if I was running late, I would text him and just be like, hey, I'm running late, and just so you know. With my algebra teacher, we agreed that it was my responsibility to come to him because I was missing the first warm-up, and he felt like it was his obligation to make sure I was doing good.
What did you learn from this process?
I learned that being late does have an impact, because before I kind of thought that it didn't matter and I was just another student, but it actually does matter, and that there's always something underneath, like an underlying reason of what they need. Like, for example, Mr. Bishop, my English teacher, he needed to be organized. His need was to be organized, and having me be late kind of threw him off his lesson plan. Real human connection is a lot more effective than teachers talking down to students. It just doesn't work.
If someone were to ask you about convergent facilitation, what would you say about it, and would you recommend that someone use it?
I would say that it's a lot more effective and the outcome is a lot more kind, and we all come to more of a consensus rather than just being punished. And yeah, I would recommend it because I feel like it just shows how much each person is a human and not just a figure, a power figure. It like levels the power dynamic of everyone and makes communication present. I feel that it creates a lot of empathy and understanding for each other. I felt like I got seen as a student and what I needed and the stories that were underneath me being late, and I also got to hear what the teachers had to say, and I felt that that was really important.
We live in an era where everybody has an iPhone, everybody has a computer. A flash of a picture on Instagram or a post on Snapchat, it's so superficial and you don't get to the meaning of that. And I think we lose connections there, and connections are everything. Now that we're in this new era, depression is way up for students. Feeling connected to schools is way down for students. Feeling connected to peers is way down. Feeling connected to parents is way down. And so having NVC as a way to facilitate building those connections has been super, super valuable.
Our job's not just to teach English or math. Our job is to do what we can to make these students ready for the world. And this is, it's so atypical of an understanding among people than what we have in society. And we're not going to effect any change if it doesn't start here.